So let's talk a little bit about, so AllJoyn is the name of the technology that you guys are developing, essentially to try to help, app makers and device makers kind of speak a common language in terms of phones talking to objects and et cetera. Can you talk a little bit about kind of what that is and how you guys are using it?
Sure. So the notion is right now you think of a lot of these Internet of Everything devices will be sitting in silos because one manufacturer builds this thing, another manufacturer builds this, but you can imagine mashing them together will be a really interesting thing. Like my washing machine actually tells me, or my dryer tells me when the clothes are dried and shows a notification on my TV screen so I know not to leave the stuff in there and let it get wrinkled. I mean, that, simple, stupid things like that will actually be possible if things can talk to each other. And a lot more complex and profound things are possible too. But the problem is that things don't talk the same language even. They don't necessarily even talk the same radio protocols. A lot of stuff's on Wi-Fi, stuff's on Bluetooth, though, stuff's on Zigbee. I mean, there's all sorts of radio protocols. They run all different operating systems now. Some of them are proprietary, some of them are the ones that we all know and love, and so we wanted to find a way to cut across all of that. And so what AllJoyn is, it's a way of allowing different objects to pass messages to each other in a we tried to simplify it as much as possible. The other thing that we did was we made it open source because we don't want people feeling like this is a Qualcomm attempt to own that layer.
Right.
What we're trying to do is just raise the water so that everybody kind of can play in this area. And there's a lot of interesting things that we're seeing. When we go to auto manufacturers for that story I told earlier, they're really interested. When we go to white goods manufacturers for the story I told about the dryer, and that, they're interested in it.
Right.
And so this notion of all these different things being able to speak and then provide notifications on whatever screen, whether it's the screen in my house that's a fixed screen, the screen that I have in my pocket, the one that I have here, the one that I have here even. I mean, eventually all these things will have a way of telling us, hey, there's something interesting, and then the UI aspects of that to make sure that you're just not annoying people all the time. And that's going to be a very interesting challenge as well. And we're working on those kinds of things also.
And from Qualcomm's perspective, you guys don't need to look at this as a direct money-making opportunity because from your perspective, you're growing the